Hi everyone, hope all is well. How are you this evening? Hope everyone is good. Been a funny day today, hasn't it? We've had some lovely sunshine, lovely day, lovely sunshine, and then all of a sudden we have this typical British weather. Yeah. So I'm just about to have a look onto my laptop because I like to read the comments on the laptop as opposed to the phone because I find it a bit too small on the phone. All right, so today's topic we're going to be talking about people pleasing, and are you guilty of people pleasing? I know that for sure I do have a habit of people pleasing. Well, at least I used to. Quite some time ago I used to people please quite a lot, but I've stopped that now. I don't do it so much as yet now. So really just looking at people pleasing, do you frequently put people first before your own needs? Do you really do that? And another thing as well is, do you find it hard to say no? Do you find it hard to say no? And let me just get myself in here. And hi, thanks for joining. Let me just look at here. There you go. Let me just take that down. I'm just putting myself on the screen on the desktop at the moment. Sorry to keep you waiting. Right, so that I can actually read the comments and everything properly. There, that's better. Much better for me. Right. Okay. Yeah, people pleasing. Is anyone there guilty of it? Richard Seeley, hi. How are you? Glad you can join me. Winston Bailey, hi. Barry Lewis, thank you for joining us. Lovely to see you. Right. Yeah. Just a quick one about the weather. I'm feeling a bit cold today, as you can see, woolens on, head wrap on, went out today to a really good networking meeting today at Brook. And yeah, it was mainly talking about getting yourself noticed more onto social media and your websites and so on and so forth. So it was nice to have a nice connection with like-minded in the Black community. Yeah, the weather has really taken its turn today. I'm not happy, not happy others, Another reason could be feeling that there's a fear of conflict or dislike. They don't like to be disliked by others, so they... Sorry guys, seem to have lost you there for a minute and signal. Brian, hi, thanks for joining. Yeah, I've lost the signal a little bit there. But anyway, people pleasing is what we're talking about. Do you find yourself making an excuse rather than saying no? Because sometimes people ask you to do a favor, for instance, and you really don't want to do that favor. So you say yes and you go ahead and do it. And you're kind of like, sometimes people pleasing can cause stress. It can cause anxiety, and it can actually cause a bit of disappointment as well, and ultimately what I would suggest is, if people, rather than agreeing to go or agreeing to do something, I would suggest that people will say, well, it's not really my thing, but you know what, you go ahead and enjoy yourself. So just actually say no, it's not really my thing, or no, I'm not feeling up to that, it's not my scene, or whatever the case may be. And just be honest, because what will happen in the long run is that if you're not honest, what will happen is that hi Cheryl, thanks for joining. What will happen in the long run is that when you say yes to somebody, to doing something that you really wholeheartedly don't really want to do, and or you make an excuse as opposed to saying no. So instead of saying no, it's not for me, I can't do that, you know, or go ahead and enjoy yourself, right? Maybe the next time. What will happen is you might get a repeat invitation for the same thing, and it's still the same thing that you don't actually like doing. So it's better, really, in the long run, to say no. You know, put it down gently, say it nicely, but you know, it's better just to say no. And sometimes you do need to be assertive as well with some people. So people pleasing is not a very good trait for someone to have, you know, because it can be very, very stressful. And then you're stressed out because you're trying to live up to the demands of the workload or whatever it is that people asked you to do. You know your limits, know what you can do and what you can't. If you can't do something, if people know you well enough, they'd understand if you have to say no. So try learning, try, you know, practicing if you have to say no in different ways. And also people pleasing, apart from causing anxiety and resentment, right? Resentment is the worst thing, because then if you ask somebody a favor and they say yes and they do it, and because they do that job really well, you may ask them to do the same type of favor again. So that's they're your person for doing that particular job, right? And if they don't like doing that job, eventually what will happen is that there'll be more resentment. They'll be resentful to be doing that. So it's really, really good for you to basically say no. I can't do the job, you know. I don't actually enjoy doing that, you know. So would you rather, could you just pass it on to somebody else? Or, you know, not at this moment, right? Maybe you don't mind doing the job, but just at that particular time, it's not good for you. So, you know, just be honest. Say you're not in that right frame of mind at the moment. You know, I can't take that particular pressure at the moment. So, no, I'm not going to be able to do that job, you know. Or, no, I can't go out with my mates or whatnot. You know, I'm not being a party pooper, but, you know, I just don't feel up to it. Be honest, because the only person that you're kidding is yourself. So always be honest. Try not to fall in the trap of the people pleasing. So sometimes people please because they have over anticipation of their ability to handle certain things. You know, they overextend themselves, and they end up getting really frustrated because they cannot actually handle other people's work as well as their own. So really look at what it is that you're saying yes to. Also, sometimes people do that because they have a fear of not being respected, you know. And I think that's quite strange that people would do things for others to try and gain respect, you know. So again, watch that. Don't have to do anything. Be yourself. You don't have to do things to please others just to try and gain respect, because really and truly you're lying to yourself. You're not actually being truthful to yourself. So don't accept things, don't do things that you don't really want to do. Another thing I would probably advise is because become aware of how you actually feel after you've accepted that you're going to do something, right? When you accept doing something, think about all the times you've overextended yourself to please others when you really didn't feel like it. Think about that. Yeah. A good thing will be is probably to write down how you're feeling. If you have accepted to do something from somebody else and you don't really feel like doing it, hi Precious, thanks for joining. It might be a good thing for you to actually write down how you actually felt. Are you happy to actually accept doing this job or go out or do whatever it is that the person's asked you to do? Yeah. Or are you feeling like, oh, I wish I didn't say yes, you know, I wish I didn't decide that I was going to offer my help, for instance, you know? because then that's just starting to play onto your mind all the time. So write down how you felt when you made the commitment to that other person. Write down how you felt. You might have regretted it straight away, or felt drained or under pressure to perform. So it's always a good thing for you to write it down, because it's always good to know what makes you stressful. So if you keep a journal, write down the things that makes you stressful, then you can look at those things and start then looking at how you can say no to these particular things that's coming to you. Do you know what I mean? So look at what it is. How do you feel? Feelings is very important. So how do you feel when you've accepted to do something but you really didn't want to? You must write it down and see how you feel. Okay, and think about whether or not it's worth going through those sort of feelings again. Is it worth going through that feeling again if that person asks you the same favor? Yeah, and think about that again. Write that down. Again, just because he didn't say no, or it's not the right time now, doesn't mean to say that, you know, you might not want to do that for the person another time, you know. So, you know, we have different times of the day where we either feel good or we have a bad day. Yeah, so some days it's just not right for you to say yes, you know. So don't people please. Say no if you have to say no, and the person who knows you would respect that answer. Practice saying no. It doesn't have to sound harsh or mean or anything like that. If you find saying a straight up no, like I said before, just try a roundabout way, so in different phrases, things like we will not be able to make it, you know, sorry, but I won't be able to make it at this particular time. Yeah, so you can do it like that. Can't right now, or it doesn't, I'm not in the right frame of mind right now, so I can't accept. Yeah, you can say no, but if you can't say no, just do it a roundabout way, but make sure that it's clear to the other person, and don't keep people pleasing, because you'll find that you would just drain everything out of you. You know, it just drains everything out of you. And if you continue people pleasing, you find that you have nobody to have a shoulder to lean on, you know, because people keep coming to you. You know, have you ever wondered why people keep coming to you, why you're always the strong person, and when it comes to your turn and you need somebody to lean on, there's no one for you around? So try not to keep accepting to have your shoulders to be leaned on. Okay, it's really, really important, because stress, anxiety and resentment is not a nice thing, you know. So really think about that. Figure out your needs and your desires. What about your own needs and your desires? Right, so if you say yes to somebody for whatever it is, think about how that's going to affect your own needs and desires. Is that helping you, or is that actually going to cause you more stress and anxiety? Right, again, answer that question. Anytime you say yes to something, you need to ask that question, you know, is it going to benefit me? You know, is it going to benefit me to help this person? Yes, it's always good to help people. Hi Ken, it's always good to help people and giving tenfold and get tenfold back. You know, it's always good to do that, but not if it's going to cause you stress and anxiety, you know. So don't accept to please somebody if it's going to be a downfall for you. So don't be the people pleaser, you know. We do need to be straightforward with that and very clear when you say no to something. And you know what, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. You don't have to always say yes to something, so it's okay to say no. But when you say no, just make sure that it's a nice no, so to speak, you know, and you're not actually saying it into a nasty harsh way to somebody. So do use the word no, and don't keep people pleasing all the time. Remind yourself that social media likes and the validation of your worth is easy to think about, right? So it's one thing saying yes to people, yeah, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you, right? And getting all the likes and the social media likes and everything like that. It's all very good and well, but is it really serving your purpose? You know, there's lots of people out there with hundreds and thousands of likes for things, right? But is it really serving their purpose? You know, you don't need to have to be liked by people to be accepted. You know, just be who you are. Be who you are, and you will be accepted by the people who know you for the honesty and the integrity and the type of person that you are. You know, so you don't have to be putting on the front, you don't have to be acting, you don't have to be people pleasing and running around people so you can score brownie points. It doesn't have to be like that. You know, it's easy to say no if you know how. So if you find it difficult, just practice it, and practice it in different ways. What I always find is that when you say yes to people, right, and some people have that fear of conflict or dislike. So for instance, if it's in a workplace and they are trying to please their new work colleagues, for instance, right, it really doesn't work out in the long run, because then when you start running behind people and pleasing people, what's going to happen? They're going to expect that kind of behavior all the time. So you have to go in there and be the person that you are authentically going to be for the duration of your time that you are at work, you know, and don't put on the front, just be who you are. If you don't want to do something, plain and simple, let them know, but put it to them gently, you know. So really, I just wanted to talk about people pleasing, because I had an habit of doing that for many years. Hi Ross, thanks for joining. For many years I've had a habit of people pleasing, you know, but I don't think it was because I wanted to get people on my side. I was more a people pleaser because I genuinely like to help people, but I also found that it was very draining, you know, very draining. And I found that there wasn't enough time, hours or whatever in the day or the week for me to fulfill my own commitments, because I have taken on the commitments of other people, you know, to serve other people. Hi Sky, thanks for joining. Yeah, so be careful of the people pleasing, and make sure that you have the time, the energy, and you actually do wholeheartedly want to do the job in hand before you actually make that commitment, you know. And like I say, most importantly, look at how you really feel after you have made that commitment to help somebody, and whether or not you actually regret saying yes straight after, you know. I mean, I don't know about you, but is there anybody here, just give me some thumbs up or whatever, if you've ever said yes to somebody and straight away, almost immediately regretted saying yes. Just give me a thumbs up if you agree with that, you know, because it's so easy to fall into that trap, really easy, you know. So think before you go ahead and say yes to something. If it means that you have to turn around and say, well, you know what, I can't make a commitment now, let me think about it and let me check my diary, or let me just see whether or not I can actually fit you in or do this job or accept to do this, you know. And that is quite acceptable, and in a way that gives you some leeway to try and actually think about whether or not you really want to commit yourself to saying yes to helping that other person. Yeah, so that's basically really what I wanted to come online to talk about today, is people pleasing. So really look about people pleasing and think about, am I a people pleaser? Am I guilty of trying to please others, putting other people's first before my own needs, you know. Look at that and see whether or not you are guilty of that. And I'm sure that most of us at some stage in our life have been guilty of, you know, putting others first. And yet I know sometimes we have to do it, you know, in the case of, in particularly family, right? Family, pleasing family. You know, you get loads of people. Hi Jassy. You get loads of people who people please, and that also includes people pleasing in the family, right? Not just at work, not just at business, your business contacts, but also in the family as well, because sometimes you get family members who rely on you to do certain things over and over and over and over and over again. You know, can you relate to that? You know, for instance, I know there's a lot of men out there who probably, I don't know, maybe take their mum shopping, or women who take their mum shopping, right? Or do certain things, you know, you get family coming round and sometimes you actually resent it because you're thinking, oh gosh, so-and-so's coming round today because they want me to go through this or they want me to go through that. And I know they're going to want me to do this for them. And you don't really want to do it, you know? And it's hard for you to say no, in particular when it comes to loved ones, you know, family. But sometimes you just have to say it. You have to say that no, you have to, because... Sorry, I lost the connection a bit there. Hi. Yeah, hi Wasi First Show, okay, so thanks for joining. Yeah, so really look at the people pleasing that you're doing, you know, like I said, family is the biggest one, because there's always somebody in the family that expects you to do the same thing for them over and over and over again. I have family members that expect me to do certain things. Why? Because I'm good. I'm the best one in the family at certain things. Hi Yvette, hi Joan, thanks for joining. You know, because I'm the best one in the family to do certain things. So they always automatically come to me. So it can be draining. It really can be draining. So you have to really watch that people pleasing when you're doing it, because if you don't watch it, you can get stressful. You can have too much, you know, the weight on your shoulders, because you're pleasing the family, or you're pleasing your friends, or you're pleasing your family, you're pleasing your business associates, you know, because you want to keep everybody happy. But in the long run, if you're not happy, then what happens is the stress will start setting in. The anxiety starts playing up onto your mind. You start getting disappointed because the back of your mind, you're thinking, I was hoping I didn't really want to say yes to this job, and now I've got this job on. I feel compelled to do it, and I feel the pressure to perform, you know. So you got to really look at what you can cope with. Hi Eileen, glad for you to join me. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, so the resentment because you don't really want to do the job. So really think about what you are doing when it comes to people pleasing. We are all guilty of it at some point in our life, whether it be work, you're trying to please the boss, I don't know, you're trying to please work colleagues, to fit in, you know. Don't do it. Don't do it, because in the long run you will regret it. You will regret it. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Take on the workload that you know that you can handle. Yeah. And do what you can do, because at the end of the day, there's only so much that the shoulders can carry. There's only so much that you can bear, you know. And then it comes to a point where everything blows out of proportion. You're stressed out, you're run down, and your body will always tell you when you run down. Your body will always tell you, you know. So try not to take... Hi Sybil, nice to see you. Yeah, so take on only what you can handle. Try not to take on more than you can handle. Yeah, because stress is really the biggest and the beginning of mental health illness, you know, so really be careful with that. So really I just wanted to jump on and talk to about people pleasing. So if anybody's got any comments about actually looking at my other screen, so if you look like that way, I'm looking at my other screen to read the comments because I find it a bit too small on the phone. Yeah, so Frank Guy, hi, thanks for joining. Yeah, so people pleasing, really, you have to be careful with this one. Really have to be careful with this one. It's a fine line between wanting others to be happy and people pleasing. There's a fine line, yeah. And of course, you always want your family to be happy, so you do things for them. You want your work colleagues to be happy. You know, if you're self-employed like I am, you know, you want your colleagues to be happy, you know, but there's a fine line between that, making people happy, and people pleasing, you know. So you've got to make sure that you're not going over that borderline of pleasing people too much, that it's actually unhealthy for you yourself, you know. So be very, very careful with that, and make sure that you look after your own needs. Take on only what you can handle and no more, and use the word no if you have to. You don't have to be harsh or sharp with it. Just say, sorry, I can't do this right now, you know, maybe another time, you know, or say, sorry, I cannot handle this at the moment, you know, I'm just not in the right frame of mind. Or you can say, sorry, no, it's not really my scene, you know, I don't want to be doing anything like that, you know, I don't want to be going out this Saturday night, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so say no if you have to, right? And really think about whether or not you are a people pleaser, or you just want to make people happy. You know, like I say, there is a fine line between that. So think about that, and think about your own health. Take on only what you can do, and you know, just make sure that it's everybody's happy, you know, you're happy, but your happiness is also very important, because if you're not happy, then everybody else around is not going to be happy neither, and then also you're going to find a lot of resentment and a lot of disappointment. So think about the people pleasing, you know, don't make it a habit, you know. Please, moms tend to pick on certain people because they're good at, or so and so always takes me shopping, you know, but so and so might have other things that they want to do, you know. So again, if you're a mom and you're watching this and you always choose the son or the daughter or somebody to take you shopping, why not choose one of the other members of the family, you know? And sorry, I lost the connection a little bit there now, I think. Yeah, so yeah, so that's all what I'm going to say for tonight, right? People pleasing, right? Do you frequently put others first? Do you find it hard to say no? If you do, start looking about other ways of saying no, but putting somebody down gently, you know, and also